Because women are women are just changing, evolving and moving ahead. So there are many men who have already realized it.
My son saw an advertisement when he was a little young boy in the newspaper where they were giving out free cycles to these girls. So he wanted to know, why are the girls getting free cycles?
Today, mainly society accuses that since women are so educated, doing well, financially strong, marriages are not surviving and the blame comes. Is that correct?
With a lot more women earlier, if women were not financially stable or they had no support, they were not able to leave the marriage, even if it was a bad marriage, right? You can't leave.
That nowadays women are misusing these beneficial legislations, be it under famously 498A.
And I think both sides, whether men or women, they aren't able to realize the fact that, marriage is just once. It's like now it's become marriage could be twice or thrice.
I would actually disagree. Do we say that it's not misused? Of course we know it's misused, right? So potentially any law can be misused.
In urban spaces now, when I meet young men and girls, I see a lot of change in the men, because
Yes.
they are now realizing that what I say, they are now realizing that if they're not going to accommodate, or if they're not going to shelve those old patriarchal thoughts, it's going to be very difficult, because women are just changing, evolving and moving ahead. So there are many men who have already realized it, but still many more to realize, and there's a huge chunk who are quite oblivious of this. We know very well, even in urban spaces, there are people like that, but they'll have to suffer.
No, the younger generation's changed because they don't have the support system in the house. So they have to raise the child from day one. So all that, it automatically happens where responsibilities are shared. So there's a better understanding of everything. It's changing slowly.
So you want to say something about Rishi or the darling gentleman that he is? So something nice about him.
Yes, I am what I am today thanks to him. And not just him, my parents, my brother, I've had only progressive men around me. So we don't know what it is, why the men think differently, because we've not been used to that. Same with my son. Yeah. My son saw an advertisement when he was a little young boy in the newspaper where they were giving out free cycles to these girls. So he wanted to know, why are the girls getting free cycles? So he didn't understand the concept of girls having to, having a bad time in society. It's just not there. So I've come from a very different background, so I've had that privilege
to this.
Yeah.
So nice things about Sudhir.
No, I think I already said that. I think we had a clear understanding that we both would have our own professions, our own careers, and that our careers are extremely important, and we would ensure that we support each other's careers. That was very clear. And really, above all, just be supportive, and I think a shared understanding of the core values, right? What you want to share, a recognition of equality, a recognition of partnership. So I think as long as that is there, you support each other.
So I think one thing my husband very quickly recognized, that this lady wants independence. So just leave her alone. My life is sorted.
Happy wife, happy life. Yes. He followed it.
He just realized that. I don't know whether he is like that or he realized it very quickly. So and I also feel that the women, the girls in our society are groomed to do the right things in home, in marriage and otherwise. I don't know, I can tell you that everything that you will do the right thing, like take care of people, take care of your in-laws. These are all there very much within us. It's just that we need a good reciprocal from there, and we are doing it. We are good.
And we aren't groomed, Anuradha. It's just if you're a nice person, it would happen.
It would no, but it is there in us. Is what I'm saying.
There's an
There are
added
many
pressure
men who do not
socially
know about it.
for women to be this way. I mean, there's also an added social pressure, right?
No, see, you call it social pressure. I'll say it's a conditioning and upbringing.
Yeah,
That's
it is
how
a conditioning, yes.
We are brought up. So long as we are cared, and then we are given that space, we know what needs to be done right. I feel that's that. So I have done everything right. He's just left that space for me, and now he realized that if I leave that space, I'm going to be the happiest person. So, and then he's the happiest man, and I think that's where something linked. And so was with my children. We realized very quickly in the marriage that I have to bring up the children majoritively by myself. One is he was not equipped at all. He was not equipped to kind of carry the child and things like that. So to be two choices. I said to myself, now I have brought these kids into this world. Let me make them good human beings. And what I need to do along with it, let me struggle to do that. So I think destiny was good. Both worked well. And his contribution strongly came when they were in their middle school and high school. That's when I really needed, because I was very much in the profession, so much of work going on, couldn't get, and then that's not when you don't need, when your caring is not physical 24/7, where you need like mental friendship and talking. So there he contributed huge.
I think very similar. When they were very small, I ensured he got his sleep because he was working through the day. So he recognized that, you know what, you need your rest.
Yeah.
Let me manage the child. So I would be awake all night. Both my children tortured me all night, but I ensured that he wasn't disturbed. But then, as you say, as they grow older, they take on other responsibilities, and we are able to,
Patience, I think women should be able to recognize, to see how the spouses are, and then have that little patience to recognize and then give it some time to flower, and then I think that it happens. So they're with us for our beautiful marriages. I think thank whatever it is. I think you shouldn't get an evil eye for that. Now I would like to talk about today. Mainly society accuses that since women are so educated, doing well, financially strong, marriages are not surviving, and the blame comes. Is that correct? First of all, I think more places I go. What's your experience? What do they say?
No, I mean, yes, these comments are made.
So how do you view this?
No, I mean, I would say that it's not that this is the reason that marriages are breaking. Marriages are not breaking because women are doing well. Marriages are breaking because obviously things are wrong in the marriage. But now, with a lot more women, earlier, if women were not financially stable or they had no support, they were not able to leave the marriage, even if it was a bad marriage, right? You can't leave because they were trapped because their families would not support them. They were not financially capable themselves. But with financial independence, with women working, with women having both their own independence and family support, they are now able to leave the marriage if the marriage is a bad marriage for whatever reason, right? So it's just that. I don't think it's women's financial independence that is really leading to marriages breaking.
It isn't as if Indian marriages were splendid earlier and now they aren't in view of the financial independence. No. Marriages were the way they were. It's just that women didn't have an option at that point of time, and they have an option now. That is the only difference. At that point of time, even the family, even if she went through hell, adjust ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ is what they told them. Now the parents don't put up with it. They just say leave and come. That's the difference. But yes, there is a bit of aggressiveness sometimes in certain parents where I've seen, I didn't raise my daughter to be an engineer just to work in the kitchen. Now it's all right to be in the kitchen. So what happens is sometimes we take it to an extreme. And it's also that some of the, typical families are yet to come to terms with a woman's independence. So sometimes they have the influence where they're able to tell the husband as to what he must do with his wife. So all of this come in. But to cut it short, I think it's just this. Earlier, they didn't have the option. Now they have the option.
So I have a different take on this. So whenever somebody asks me, obviously when they see me, I come across a very strong woman on face value, which I'm not actually. But when they see me first time, so I tell them, okay, if this is correct, that means all these years, women took the brunt of keeping the marriage together. You have to accept that. If it is that women, because of women marriages are breaking, that means because it was for women, because of women marriages stood by. Now why don't you take whatever the women did all these years, do that and hold down the marriages and give that little space or whatever that is required in your marriage. Recognize that. You're very quick to find fault and try to put the blame on somebody. And if that blame is correct, that means this is also correct. So you see what you can do, how you can change yourself to this evolving woman. So then they don't say anything to me.
It's also that at this point of time, I think both sides, whether men or women, they aren't able to realize the fact that marriage is just once. It's like now it's become marriage could be twice or thrice.
You tried and tested.
No, it's just that you have a rough time and you're angry about something, you use the D word. You can't use the D word. Yeah. Divorce is not an option. So you work through it initially. I think, extreme ones, yes, you can't save them. But a lot of people aren't willing to save marriages because we've seen some of these divorces, it's on very trivial issues according to us, because that's not how a marriage should be. But they aren't willing to sustain that or try to change that.
Patients have come down a little bit on both sides. And they're not willing, as we just spoke, they're not willing to give that many years of testing. Because they also feel maybe if it's not working, better to call it off quickly so that you can move on. That's also one option. Yeah, that what?
No, I don't know.
But having said this, Jana, let me stop you. I think one or two people in every 1,000 is what's getting divorced.
I mean, I don't know the rates. But I think the divorce statistics are increasing. The percentages of divorce are increasing. I don't think there's any doubt, whatever the growth may be. But I think in modern societies, it's bound to happen, right? Are you going to, earlier it was a huge taboo.
So, ladies, I wanted to kind of touch upon one other accusations that generally comes across, that nowadays women are misusing these beneficial legislations, be it under the Dowry Prohibition Act or most famously 498A, and then there are many men who are making a husbands association and trying to fight against this. See, the National Family Health Surveys, I think the last one was number 5 or something. These statistics, as I have read, and I can authentically, very categorically say that 35% of the women in marriage face either physical, emotional or sexual abuse. And almost 42 or 44% of women who are either divorced or single, widowed or spinsters, that's what I mean. Such women are facing, emotional, any kind of abuse. Now this comes either from men within the family or from men within the society. Now it is for these reasons, and I recollect in my childhood about dowry deaths was so rampant. Even recently also we saw one in Delhi and so many happening. Now, first of all, of course, I do have sympathy or rather empathize with those men who are really cornered or feel cornered in some cases. We had a recent suicide by one of the gentlemen, which is true unfortunate. I do not deny all these things. But I thought that we as professional women, no doubt, Jaina, do practice from the matrimonial aspect of the law, but we're not talking from our personal experience, but we are talking from our professional experience, whether it is true that women are misusing these laws, because I personally feel, if you look at the statistics, these laws are required. There could be some very minute percentage that could be misusing, but what are your takes on that? Will whoever, Jaina, you or whoever?
Yeah.
Jaina.
No, I mean, I feel that this allegation of misuse in the case of domestic violence laws.
Or the other laws are too harsh and driving men
Yeah,
to
so I
various
think these. I mean,
consequences.
the main allegation is allegations of misuse. That these are false cases. Women are filing false cases against the men, their husbands, relatives. All of those allegations are made. I don't think such allegations are valid. You can have. Potentially, any law can be misused, right?
Yeah, any beneficial
any law.
legislation,
No, not
yeah.
just beneficial. I mean, check bounce cases. It's not
Yeah.
even a beneficial. It's just a commercial legislation, the Negotiable Instruments Act. Do we say that it's not misused? Of course, we know it's misused, right? So, potentially, any law can be misused. Now, to make such a huge deal about women-centric laws, whether it's domestic violence or any other laws, even POCSO, now allegations are made that these laws are misused. I think that's unfair and that's not valid. We don't have data to show whether these particular laws are misused more than others.
So what
the
they
data.
say, what they say, Jaina, sorry to interrupt you, they say like almost 98% of these cases
Are false cases,
are
yes.
false cases
Well,
are
there is-
dismissed as such.
Yes, there is no basis for that. There is no basis just because of criminal, and actually even this 98% is not true. Just in any criminal matter, we know that just because there is an acquittal, it doesn't mean that it's a false case. An acquittal.
Honorable acquittal.
An acquittal could be for many reasons. An acquittal could be because witnesses turned hostile, prosecution could not prove its case. We know why in many cases witnesses turn hostile. In many cases, in rape and sexual assault cases, witnesses, victims are threatened to such an extent that they ultimately turn hostile. So there are many reasons for acquittal, and acquittal doesn't mean false cases. So, but there is a narrative made that women are misusing. So I feel that such a severity of allegation is there's no legal basis, and I think, if you look at the data that you said, the National Family Health Survey, I mean, if there are 40% of women face domestic violence, and out of those 40%, the number of cases which even are filed are a very small percentage. So we really need, I mean, if we want to, there should be some data on the basis of which such allegations are made. And so, yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, what do you say, Lakshmi?
There is misuse, yes. Because of that, would we have to dilute these sections? No. Supreme Court has come up with varied judgments where they've balanced it out. So I think it's all in place. I would put in a very important factor where changes came in. The moment we decriminalized the act of the man with respect to, we had it still
Adultery.
With adultery, when we decriminalized it, yet it was one of the reasons that you could seek a divorce. I think there is when women lost out a lot. Because see, it's not fair on a woman where a man goes out and has another affair or decides to live with another woman. What happens to this lady? What happens to these children? All of a sudden, they're all neglected. The lady doesn't have a job. She's not able to take care of the children, while his focus is elsewhere. So it's all right if you want to decriminalize it, but you can't say that it's just only a ground for you to get a divorce. You must have some factor wherein you bring about a penalty on that. The moment you bring out a penalty...
Like you mean balance out the provisions?
Yes.
That a woman who comes with a false case...
That's not the issue.
Uh-huh.
If the reason I say is it's misused, the reason a woman misuses it sometimes is she doesn't know how to get back at the man. So sometimes she's using maybe a domestic violence where it wasn't necessary. But is she justified in doing so? She's gone through hell. She's not able to do anything else because adultery is decriminalized. So what does she do? Because it's just a ground for divorce ultimately. So bring about a penalty where the man pays a price for him to have just neglected his family and gone away. Then maybe there would be far fewer incorrect cases that are filed. But with respect to POCSO, it is definitely misused. POCSO with respect to strange men different from POCSO being used as against fathers when a matter is going downhill for a woman. I know based on quite a few cases that I have seen, it is being misused. So again, courts probably need to step in and find again the balance that they did with respect to 498A. But would these provisions have to be diluted? No, they shouldn't be. Because women need it.
No, I would actually disagree. I don't think in POCSO it's misused. These are serious allegations, and no, I don't think there are instances where these allegations are made flippantly. A large percentage, even if you look at some of our National Family Health Survey data, a large percentage of child sexual abuse happens by known persons, by families, by close and intimate family members. So we have to be alert to that, and that was why POCSO was enacted. On another note, I just want to add that even in 498A and domestic violence, I feel rather than take the stand of misuse, I feel our understanding of domestic violence has to be broadened. Adultery or a man having an affair with someone else or neglect, as you said, should also be recognized as a form of domestic abuse. If it is recognized as a form of domestic violence, then there would be enough grounds, whether under criminal law or under civil law.
Okay. So my thoughts are like this. Of course, I don't have any litigation experience. Unlike you two ladies, but I've been a mediator at the mediation center, and most of the cases they come there are family matters, POSCO and all of those things. To me, it looks, I don't think there is any woman who will say, oh no, I was taken care like a flower, but still I'm going to go and file 498. I have not seen anything like that. There has been, knowingly or unknowingly, some abuse, either verbal or emotional abuse, on the new bride who comes, and that prompts her to take some action. Then what is left? Then we go to a lawyer. Lawyer is going to say you have to do, if there's a violence, 498. 1. 2. When you actually sit for settlement, when there's 498A or anything, then only the man will settle. See, ultimately the man, we're not talking about people like us. We're talking about, as you said, who have 2 children, no job, husband is now. So what options you mean to say? If she's going to say, give me maintenance monthly like this, it's going to work. You have, how many cases have you fought where getting maintenance, you get 5,000, 10,000 maintenance. Is it enough for a woman to manage with 2 children and home and everything? It's not possible. So only when there is a threat. I don't see any marriage where the woman has been taken care the best and still she has 498.
That's why we're saying we need to bring about legislation where you don't need to use these extreme steps because you're justifying that they're using this as arm twisting tactics, and that's where the genuine cases lose out because it's a generalized opinion.
I'm saying the other way. There is, see, the 498 doesn't say what is a degree.
No, it doesn't. Even verbal
Exactly.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
What I'm saying is that they have been abused. All I'm trying to say is I have not seen any case where there's absolutely no abuse and still a case has been.
But it's difficult because evidence, you don't have sufficient material and then you lose out. So what I'm trying to say is that instead of, let's leave 498A because it's absolutely necessary, because the largest number of women who need it It's required, so let's not dilute it. But if you're going to decriminalize adultery, and it's all right for a woman to happily go away and have another life and leave these people to rot, then there has to be some kind of check and balance brought in place wherein it's not all right for you to alienate your family. So it has to be some form of penal provision, or have some kind of economic, dent on him, so that he comes around to the bargaining table at least.
Yeah, these are our experience, and I'm so glad that I had this conversations with you on these two important subjects, because these are the ones that are there in and out in our profession, in our neighbors, in our friends. We see all this is happening. So let me now kind of move to a much more happier and a more victorious and glorious ones.